Seeing that some of you actually do enjoy watching my, explanatory videos, and some of you do like my deck profiles, which I've been really touched. Thank you so much for this past year. But right before we reach DZBT06, I want to talk about a deck that's really been plaguing me quite a fair bit, or more rather, this guy. And why am I so pissed? Hey, what's going on, guys? I'm Zero here. Today I am back to cover Rewrite the Star Varjula, or Virgila, or Vyrgilla, or Virgila. I can't do English, man. But today we're here to talk about this deck because it's recently gotten a tournament promo, as you can see right here on the screen. I'm going to leave it here for you to see its art, as well as a translation I plucked off from an English Discord. So thank you so much to the translator. I hope this is accurate. Today I want to talk about this because first and foremost, it has been a few months since Varjula has come out for us. From the Corocoro manga, but it will also be around the time English gets this deck. I hope, I think, I have no idea. Let me know in the comments if I got the release date right or wrong, because I frankly have zero clue. See what I did there? Zero clue. So, Varjula is the deck for Zero Tendou, who is the protagonist of Corocoro. And they started off in DZBT02 and then later on giving us a promotional deck set that came with Corocoro, the manga for children, like me. I'm clearly a child doing this. But the thing is that right now, we are in the final wave of tournament promos for the year 2024. And now we are in November-December wave, as you can guess from the recording of the video today. Yeah, and there's just one problem. Not only does Dragon Empire take up a whopping 4 out of the 9 slots for this wave, we also have a Varjula promo. And that is this guy here, and his name is Variance Race Dragon. Or at least that's how I read it. I'm not sure how the translation reads it. You will see it in post-editing, okay? So no worries about that. Now, I want to talk about this guy because frankly, I'm very disappointed. I really do not like this guy, and yeah, I just don't like him at all, which is why I'm making an entire video to diss him, okay? So now I'm going to read to you what it does, and I'm going to talk about its applications and why I think this is ultimately a design fail for Varjula. Okay, so here we go. First off, his name. So this is for Variance Slay Dragon. He has 2 skills. If you have a grade 3 or higher and Vanguard that includes Varjula and his current name, you can bind this unit. Choose one of your rearguard Ezeras or Ezerer, I have no idea how they pronounce it in English, and until the end of your opponent's turn, that unit cannot be chosen by your opponent's cards, and it gets 5000 power and 5000 shield. For those who are wondering, this is Ezra. If you don't know anything about this deck, I do strongly recommend to check the links in the description for my previous Varjula deck profile, which is updated till Stardust Blade, okay? So, or the Corocoro deck set. So please check it out. I would strongly recommend you do so. And I also just put the links in the description for my Naruto Encyclopedia because, no harm in always promoting Nairo-sama. Okay, the second skill for the promo you will see here is Continuous on the Guardian Circle. If your Vanguard has Varjula on its card name, it gains 5000 shield. Okay, so that's what the skill does. Now the question is, what do you do with it? Okay, so first and foremost, I want to just call out the elephant in the room. The very main point of Variance Slay Dragon is that it's the manga card used by Zero Tendou to beat Maedis. Okay, the Maedis is a card that the Stoichia opponent uses in Corocoro, and basically what Maedis does, it has the Giga Paralyze skill. Okay, so it basically Giga Paralyzes a rearguard and prevents you from intercepting, which is a problem because as you can see here, Ezra has 15k shield, and if you've played Varjula for at least an hour, you'll know that most of Varjula's defenses comes in the form of this guy, right? So if he just doesn't have access to this card, he virtually loses the game. So Maedis, who is technically a hard counter to Varjula, now you can actually just use Variance Slay Dragon, this promotional card, to stop Maedis from targeting Ezra. I hope I'm making sense in English, but that's basically what he also does in the manga, if I'm not mistaken. So you may want to also take a read if you can read Japanese, but if you can't, it's fine. I'm here to tell you what it does. And then it gives it 5000 power, 5000 shield. Why would that matter? Is because when you reach grade 3 Varjula, generally speaking, most of your power lies in Varjula himself, and that is because of the nature of the Varjula deck, and it uses a very specific card to do so. That card is his Fateful Order, Stardust Blade, which is the name of the deck set. So let me just pull out a copy of Stardust Blade from my deck here. Here you go. Okay, so Stardust Blade is the main source of Varjula's power, and it only gives power to the front row. Sorry, to himself, right? So the front row rear guards don't actually gain power by themselves. So by using Variant Slay Dragon, you actually give him an additional 5,000 power, which is really good because you can actually use it to restand. Because Varjula's skill is that when he attacks, he counterblast 1 to restand one of your own rear guards, right? So if you restand the Ezra is not just a 15k body, he's now a 20k body. And that also helps given we have Fanfare. Fanfare is the only other way the front row gains power, because if you have a Vanguard with Varjula on his name, and you have an Ezra in your rear guard circle, you can Soul Blast 1, choose this, add the Ezra, and it gains 10. So based on all these, you're starting to see why Variant Slay Dragon, this is my proxy, you would think is actually a pretty good card. That's how it would appear to be, right? That's the applications of it. Not only that though, while most of your board is filled with Ezra and Fanfare, you can actually keep your excess Variant Slay Dragons in your hand and use them as 10k shield, because, you know, it's 10k shield, right? That's what the second skill says. And you can even use this early game shield in the early game, because the shield ability is not linked to the grade of Varjula, it's just any grade of Varjula. So even if you're as early as a grade 1 baby Varjula, it ensures that you will be able to use this skill, and you can help fight off early aggression, which is nice. You know, I think that's pretty solid of a card. However, and this is the part that I want to discuss, to the point that I just shook my camera. Now, the problem with this guy is that if you know anything about Varjula, this is not a card. This is not it. Okay, Varjula is a very heavy aggression deck that focuses on mass rushing and pushing, right? So the idea is that when you go into your grade 1 and your grade 2, all of them have very aggressive skills that require your board to be full, right? To have at least 4 to 5 rear guards, and you can start swinging and beating, and then rewrite the star doesn't really matter, but your early game tempo is very important for Varjula. The problem is that you are now playing a 10k vanilla that does nothing in terms of offensive powers, 1. 2, it only gives you 5k shield, and if you manage to see Ezra and then use its second skill, which is the remove itself from the drop, it only does that. Like that's it. it's not a card. Like, the whole point of Varjula is to rush, crush, and destroy. So why would you give me a tournament promo that makes me work 2 steps backwards to playing a shield card? Like, what is this gonna stop? Not only that, the translation should read that it cannot be chosen by the effects of your opponent's card. Guess what, dumbass? Rokusei, stun him, he dies. That's it. That's it. So you only get to stop half of the intercept problem. You don't even solve the whole thing, which is, you know, Rokusei, who is clearly the bigger threat in the room. And I will link my Varga Raksasha video links in the description, just in case, you know, someone wondering, what the hell is a Rokusei? So yeah, I'm just going to put that at the bottom so you can see. Now, that tells you about my feelings towards this card. That while it has its uses and it's clearly pretty good, it doesn't work with the game plan at all. And why is this a card even? And this is the last thing. You will remember I mentioned earlier that this is a card used by Zero Tendou in the manga, the Corocoro manga. So you would think to yourself, why would I not print this card in the Corocoro manga? Why put it in a tournament slot? The answer is simple. It's a very sad one for my fellow Japanese friends. So for those of you in English who've never heard this before, I'm sorry, this is gonna be a bit of a shell shock to you. Bushiroad likes to sell magazines, okay? They like to sell their mangas, they like to sell their booklets, and they will print good promotional cards in the book to make sure it is sold. I know scalpers in countries like Singapore and Malaysia, and I'm not afraid to name you, who straight up just buy the book, throw it away, and just sell the card at like ×6 the price. It's freaking stupid. But not only that, but that's how the book sales are generated. That's the problem, right? Because you've already read these mangas online, or you've read them through the Corocoro weekly itself. You don't actually need the book. So the whole point of selling the book is actually just to sell the card, the singular one card you get in the book. It's really dumb, it's really bad, but you cannot put a card like Variant Ray Dragon into the book because no one will buy the damn book, right? Which is why you print nation staples like Maedis, Philia, Selgown. These are the cards you print in these magazines because that's how you sell the book. So we, as competitive players, we are left with stupid crap like this in our tournament packs because, oh, Bushiroad wants to print the card, but you know, we can't have it corrupt our book sales. So here's your tournament entry price. I hope you enjoyed paying your 200 yen to get this complete ass. So, you know, I don't like it. I really don't. But there's really not much you can do about it because this is generally going to be the approach, right? They need to keep printing good magazine cards. So anything that appears in the magazine that's slightly subpar, you're going to get it in another form, be it the tournament promo or in the main set, which, to be honest, I would have preferred if this was in the main set. And the stupidest part is, we actually have the opportunity to put it in the main set because we have DZBTO6. DZBTO6 is a set meant for comic bosses, encounter bosses, strike deck sets. So why couldn't I just slip a single common rare or even double rare into that set? I don't get why this had to be a tournament promo when you literally have Shiranui, Luat, and so much other strong promos in that pack, and then you just give us this, which is clearly unplayable. So frankly, I don't know why I'm even filming this video, but I guess it's also because I just want to set the record straight. A lot of people were hyping up this card and saying it was really good, but I was like, no way, man. I've tested it before, I've lost my fair share of games, and I just told myself, I just really want to talk about this on the camera because I just don't like this card. I love the art. It looks like Draconic Blade Master, and frankly, if you just rewrote its name to Draconic Blade Master, I may have believed you, but at its core, I just don't think this is a deck you want to play. This is not a card you want to play in Varjula. So if you happen to be a Varjula player picking up Stardust Blade, just be aware that your next direct support isn't as good as people say it is, or at least it's not as good as the manga makes you believe it to be. So yeah, just be aware about that. I do sincerely hope in the future that Zero does continue to get cards because I really do love the Varjula line. I really do think that this line does have the potential to shine really brightly, but at this moment in time, if this is going to be the quality of support, I don't know. I would feel really sad, you know, because so far when you look at protagonists in Vanguard's history, you know, we just did Reziel, right? We just finished Reziel, it's clearly a very big meta threat, yada yada yada. We just had Graham Grace Seek, which is nice for them to remember Graham Grace, but then you also have decks like Majesty Lord, who are completely forgotten, Chronoscommand, who is once in a while used just to sap up some money from Mount Ishii, and now you have Varjula, who is the latest in a long line of lineage for Cardfight Vanguard. But if you're going to print us unplayable trash like this, then just don't bother. Seriously, I'd rather you just print the vanilla in that tournament pack, and I would have been happier. Thank you all so much for watching. I'm really sorry that this video turned out to be a lot more negative than most people tend to expect me to be, but yeah, that's really just all I wanted to say. I would prefer not to be this negative on camera, because very frankly, negativity just gets us nowhere in life, but I just really want to talk about it because I just really don't like this guy. I really don't like him. I'm sorry. But yeah, that's about it. Thank you all so much for watching. Take care. Bye bye.